Hi, I'm Jace. I'm a music analyst, classical singer, and dancer, and today we are having a look at Stray Kids Hall of Fame. In honor of so many new people having watched my videos with my brother, and that is largely the 18s, thank you, I am going to be releasing two videos this week. This one, which is Stray Kids, and a second one that I'm going to look at Wake Up by 80s. And it'll be similar format to this. It'll be a song-specific, not quite a deep dive, but song-specific analysis. We have both kittens here with us today. Fozza is here. Oh, Jemima is being a fusspot over here and sitting right in front of the microphone and purring, so you'll probably be able to hear her. I go through phases of being minorly obsessed with specific Stray Kids songs, and at the moment, Hall of Fame is the obsession. I'm constantly finding new bits and pieces when listening to Stray Kids stuff, and this has got so much cool stuff in it. As usual, lyrics and music first, because there isn't really a music video, and then we will move on to live performance. I know that everybody wants the Golden Disc Awards performance, but I don't know if copyright will let me put it on here. So if it's not on here, I will have it up on my Patreon. I'm not really going to focus on lyrics too much, just a little bit here and there because, you know, lyrics are important. But mostly I am going to have a look at the vocals, the noise, the sound, see what's going on. From the start, as is one of Stray Kids' standard things, they like to make their music feel big, and they do that by having a very broad sound space. So they use a range of echo effects and volume differences to achieve the sound of a big space, like you're standing in a big room. I was going to say a massive hall, and that's appropriate for this, because big open spaces tend to have a particular acoustic. Like, you can make something sound like it's in a particular size and kind of space by playing with the reverb, how wet and dry your vocals are, how wet and dry all of your sound is actually. And you can do that in post-production. If you're doing live recordings, it's not quite the same, but that's why you always have something out to capture the room sound as well as the individual sound of each person. So what Stray Kids is doing here is they've got that big echoey dum-dum opening, that bass dum-dum, and then they've got that descending arpeggio, the da 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 dum dee da 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 dee da 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 dee da da dum. My pitching is off, but and that kind of comes in from a quieter sound to a louder sound, but they've also put a low pass filter on it. So what a low pass filter does is it blocks the higher frequencies. So it's cut out all of the higher frequencies of the sound, and you can only hear what's lower, and they reduce that, fade that out over time, and you can hear the higher frequencies coming in as it goes. So it makes it sound like it's rising out of water or coming closer to you, so you can hear it better. So you hear it sounds kind of muffled, and it gets clearer and clearer and clearer. And then we get that trap beat and the bass immediately. And everything is quite distorted sounding. So there's a little bit of grit on everything. Those bells are really interesting because it's almost like a tambourine or sleigh bells, but it also makes me think a little bit of a cricket chirping, which I don't know, just that sound. There's a melodic element in there, the dum 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 dum, which Sungmin had in his melodic line, but it carries on in the background even after he's changed what he's doing. So there, that dum 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 is still there, and it stays behind the rap here that Han is doing. Nice doubling of Ian's line there with a lower octave. So he's singing, and then there's another vocal underneath. Auto-tune on the ad-libs. Okay, change of sound with Changbin's entry here. This all sounds pretty close. There's a lot of stuff going on, and it feels close. Lots of lower pitches and lower tones. And then we get to Changbin's section, and you have that cymbal crash, and it suddenly sounds like the space expands. And you're getting more echo, more higher pitches, and it's bigger. More echo on Changbin as well makes him feel further away. End of My Pace. Reference to one of their other songs. Da 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 dum dum. Riser going there, building. Okay, then we get into this pre-chorus section, and the sound changes a little bit again. Lots of distorted electric guitar with those bent chords, distortion on both the vocals and the instruments, and just an overall grittier, more aggressive sound. And I mean, with the stomp, the lyrics are aggressive as well. Other thing is that every note is short, so it's quite staccato. It's not legato. Legato lines run into each other, and there's no breaks really in between anything, and it's all just going. Whereas with staccato, it's every single word is separate, and you're shortening and sharpening everything. So here, Felix's everything. Dum dum da 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 dum dum. Dum dum da 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 dum dum. It's very abrupt. And from Ian to Changbin as well. I love that rhythm. Nice. Okay, and here we've got that little melodic motif that Felix brings in the post-chorus, that dum dum tum 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 tum, but they bring it in early. So something that I really like about this is that it all kind of overlaps. So you have melodic elements from other sections as background melodies in another part of the song. And this, it kind of comes in percussion. So it sounds a little bit like a wood xylophone. So not quite a marimba and not quite what we know of as xylophones. The sound is duller, it doesn't reverberate as much. But introducing it in a pitched percussive sound before the actual melody comes in is something that's really interesting. I actually want to go back and see if that comes any earlier. Okay, it does come in earlier. It comes in here at Changbin's part, and it's even more of a pitched percussion sound rather than a xylophone or an instrumental sound. And so you've got it way, way, way before it actually shows up as a sung main melody here underneath Changbin's rap. And you've got that bass rhythm as well. Dum, 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 dum. And then that dum bum bum disappears here and comes back here, but much more forward in the mix and as an instrument. And here we go. Okay, so this section of Felix's is really interesting because there's a couple of different layers going on. Actually, I want to go back to Bang Chan's Hall of Fame section. There are so many harmonies hiding in here. So he's got "Hear the people call my name," and he's got a "People call my name" coming in at the end of that line. And it sticks through for the rest. Dum, da, dum, dum, dum. There's a lower harmony there as well. I think there's 4 parts. Ooh, that's weird because it's clashy. What? What on earth is he doing there? Weird. Cool. And then there's something else there as well. That's so cool. Okay, and Felix's iconic low notes here. They're really low. I had a look, and this part is actually, it sounds simple. It's just a repeated dum 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 dum. It's repeated 3 notes, right? It's not that simple. So I worked it out just now, and if I take it up, it's an F, F sharp, A sharp, but like down. Semitones are hard. It doesn't matter where they are. Well, hard, tricky. You have to pay attention to them. You can't get lazy. It's very easy to overshoot. So Felix repeating that tum 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 over and over and over again, and getting that interval right and not slipping is really tricky and really impressive. And I know he had as many takes as he needed to do it in the studio, but it's still hard. Tum tum tum, shaking the industry, quaking reality. And then that jump from the F sharp to the A sharp is weird as well. Shaking the industry, quaking reality, making it iconic. There is so much going on here in terms of harmony and ad-libs. I'm just going to repeat them as I hear them. The industry quaking reality, making it iconic. And then that's, and then the thing on now here again. Okay, Kyungjin's section here is much cleaner from that perspective. So something that's interesting about that section is where the emphasis is on the words. And I know that that's something that Changbin likes to play around a lot with in his rap. So I wonder if it's a bit that he wrote. Okay, back again some more. This section after Felix. So here, this Changbin and Han backwards and forwards section. The shouted bits are really interesting because they're so much further forward in the mix than anything else. So the vocals from Changbin and Han are kind of muffled. They're a little bit held back, they're contained. The backing music is louder, so you kind of have to listen properly to hear.
Listen properly?
You have to listen quite closely to be able to hear everything that they're saying, because they've got that thing going on in the background. Then you have those shouts, which kind of come to the front of the mix, and a little bit out of nowhere, it's contained, contained, contained shout, which is quite interesting. And then you hear with that grand slam bit, Changbin and Han's vocals suddenly move forwards to the front of the mix before that shouted grand slam from everybody. Da 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 grand slam with that little da 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 just before they moved vocals to the front of the mix, and you can hear that change. So that's what I mean by the difference between the vocals being forwards and backwards in the mix. So this is still, there we go. It's a very different sound from what we normally get from Lino. Because his falsetto and high notes are so gorgeous, he often ends up with quite melodic lines and legato lyrical stuff. This is just pure power and aggression, and it's awesome. And it's doubled as well. I actually want to go back and find Felix's one. Okay, so we've got that from Felix. I think he's doing it an octave below where Lino's got his bit. Yeah. So Lino's brought it, or Lino's section is up an octave, and it almost sounds more aggressive in the higher octave, because with Felix's it's just gravelly and down there and sitting. This is coming at you, it's coming at you. Nice contrast. Stray Kids uses the contrast between the voices of their members so well, always. The very rock sound all the way through there.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
That one small step for man always makes me want to dance. It kind of makes the muscle memory twitch, because they'd had that sampled into a song for something that I danced to more than 10 years ago at this point.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
So you've got a really interesting contrast here between that Lino pump pump stomp stomp section and Seungmin's bridge type thing. The one is very, very aggressive and harsh and loud and in your face, and then you've got the Armstrong sample in there, which kind of provides a break, and when you come back, the feel has shifted. It's softer, it's gentler, but under that you've got stuff building and building and building and building back into the Hall of Fame chorus. And the Hall of Fame chorus is actually much more melodic and lyrical than a lot of the rest of the song as well, so it fits. You can hear how the bass and that tum 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 are quite muffled in there. They feel like they've got something holding them down, while the percussion is very forwards. Lots of interesting effects as well. Oh, that was nice. 'Cause you know It's a much more typical Lino sound, the clean tone. That's actually really nice. Okay, so there Felix has jumped up the octave for the waking the industry. He's not doing it way down at the bottom of the piano anymore. But still with that gritty sound that he's got. Okay, so much going on in that last section. You've got Felix doing his shaking the industry. You've got the chorus, Hear the People Call My Name stuff going on. You've got going on. You've got people ad-libbing and like also interesting harmony there with the it's that same funny harmony from last time. Okay, we don't have the Hall of Fame going on there. It would be really interesting to add that though. That would actually be a really interesting thing to try and mix. I am done with this now. I think I have analyzed it to death a little bit. Okay, stage and choreo. Here we go. Starting with something from the official page. Ooh, nice ripples. They've got a live band. Ah, hearing that just makes me so happy. Just the bass guitar and the drums there. There they are, off on the side. The choreo looks quite messy to me. It's not as neat and intentionally coordinated. Like there's lots of arms going everywhere. See, this is better. Also though, I suppose that Hall of Fame is not a song that they did a music video or anything for. And for the music videos, they tend to be very particular about getting all of the angles and movements of the arms and whatever exact. And for a stage performance, it's not that much of a big deal. So I wonder if that's why the arms everywhere thing was happening. Okay, there's too many cuts here for me to see nicely what's going on. That iconic function little thing. That little bit is also not as easy as it sounds. Da 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 dum. You have to be high enough on that da 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 dum. It's very easy to slip and go flat.
Enjoy. Shaking the industry, quaking reality, making it iconic. I check it out now. 잘 올려 빼곡한 나의 글자과 기록들은 making you history now.
Nice eye. Oh, here we go, here we go, here we go. Too many cuts! Just show me what's going on. Oh! That looks like a hollow teaser to me. Ooh. Interesting. Maybe not. Sungmin vocals spot on as usual. Banchan looking menacing. And this is one of the reasons I love having the live band, because the song doesn't just end. Oh, and they've got them in the 4 cubicles. So cool. That's super cool. Tired boys. Yeah, that Hall of Fame choreo is a lot. Okay, let us try and find something that I can actually see the staging better. That was cool, but like, I want the staging. And we have a fan cam, which will hopefully have no cuts so we can see what's going on. That little ripple is cool. Yeah, the arms really are all over the place there. Ian and his hip movements. Nice. Ripple out. Now, Felix is not really singing this. It's a dance break more. Singing that live? He's not even pretending. Nice little interaction thing there. Lino on his raised stage. See how his, you can see how Lino's dancing is much less aggressive than it could be, because he's trying to keep his vocals as stable and everything as possible to get that done. Wait. Menacing punch, huh? Nice. Okay, I'm not going to watch that little bit over. Not for the one that we've actually been waiting for. Nice ripples. I like their outfits for this. Also shoulder pads. Felix definitely needs a face mic, not a handheld for this. Wait. He's not specifically singing in this section. I'm sure his mic is on and it's picking him up sometimes, but that's very dance focused. Oh, I like that footwork. That's cool. Interesting repeat of the Hall of Fame chorus movements there by the backup dancers when they were going across the screen. There. It's not an exact repeat, but it's that same feel. Lino and the Laces. And the fact that you can't see him.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Bangchan throwing something off the stage. I don't understand the thing that Stray Kids stylists have with safety pins. Like, weird sizes and shapes and things of safety pins holding their clothes together and this and that and the other. Like, safety pins are a hazard on stage. One wrong movement and it comes undone, and then you're getting spiked. Like, I know they're called safety pins, but yeah, even so. Oh, flat Sungmin, I'm sorry. Was it Sungmin or Iron? One of them was flat. Sorry. Why do they zoom out so far that you can't see what's going on? Cool. Okay, so that was Hall of Fame. I wasn't as impressed by the stage performances as I thought I would be, or as I hoped I would be. And I think that's partially just because of the camera work. Like, I want to see what's going on. Don't want you to be cutting randomly between all sorts of different shots. I want to be able to see what they're doing, what they're dancing. But, I did a basic overview of what's happening in Hall of Fame with the lyric video here, just the audio. But I have a first listen through that is slightly more in depth in some things, which will be available on my Patreon. It just doesn't have proper video all the way through because either myself or one of the cats bumped a cable which disconnected my camera. So the audio is still there, the audio is still fine. You can hear what I'm talking about. You just can't see me waving my hands around. As usual, I've said pretty much all that I have to say in the actual video commentary, so that is me done for now. I am moving on to 80s, and that video will be out a day or so after this one. Bye! Oh, also, Boza, he's turned himself upside down in my lap. Hey, kitten. Oh, is this nice? Do you want me to scratch your chin and your head and behind your ears and your tummy and everything all at the same time? Okay, we're done now. So while looking for setting up for my next video, I have the other one now occupying my lap. Are you cold, baby? Yes. Cold, but I do not like microwave. Jemima is here too today, so you'll probably be hearing kitten purrs and the occasional meow or something on the microphones. Oh.